Greetings, gentle viewers, and welcome to a deleted scene. I gave a brief explanation of this in my most recent video, but to go into a bit more detail. During my scripting of the next main video, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. You see, a part of the video style that I want to go for is that I'm wanting to explain some of the cutscenes and character emotions and feelings, etc., and even directly showing some of the best lines and scenes from the game. But that style ended up being a bit mixed throughout the first video, and so we missed some very key details. This is what happened during my scripting. There's a scene involving Nopon, and I realised that I didn't explain who Nopon are, so we should probably do that. Hang on, I also didn't introduce Riku and Manana, which is a crime of the highest order, so we should really do that as well. But actually, I never really introduced any of the characters properly. You know, there was this big scene in Alpheto Valley where everyone gave a little introduction, and I completely skipped over it, so maybe we need to do that as well. But that involves saying that Noah and Mio are off-seers, which I never explained either, and actually I never introduced any of the core mechanics of the world, like the 10-year life. So, look. I know that 99% of you watching already know the entire story of this game and the Xenoblade series beyond. But I do want to explain the story and the plot and the characters and the cutscenes. One of my reasons for making Xenoblade videos is that I like Xenoblade and I want to show it off. So this is just part of the style I want to have, though as you can tell I'm struggling to get the balance right. You may have noticed in the previous video, I was doing this a lot towards the end of chapter 1, like with the whole Ouroboros scene. But I didn't go back and rectify that for the opening, rather in favour of this 1 versus 2 fans joke. I don't regret that decision per se, but I would really like to make this the style going forward, and so I needed to address it for some consistency. I actually considered making a remaster of the first video to incorporate this, but no matter how you look at it, something was going to get messy. It made me feel like the main video was going in too many different directions, and it's been a real stumbling block for me and my autistic brain. Going forward, we'll just try to keep this consistent, but we need to address this right now. So why the deleted scene? I was going to have this big section of the video where I went back to the start and explained the world and the characters and some other important details. I've now decided to pull that out of the main video because I think it disrupts the flow. The thing is, I already recorded and edited that whole section because at the time I wanted to include it in the main video. So if I am going to take it out of the main video, I didn't want to waste the hours and hours I have spent making it, because some of it was redone 3 or 4 times, and I just couldn't press delete on all that work. So I decided to upload it here as a deleted scene, so that it's still here for anyone who wants to see it, whilst keeping the right flow in the main video. So to clarify, this entire video is an introduction to the game's world and setting, as well as all the characters. There's no Nuzlocke gameplay progress of any sort. But there are still tons of jokes I make, so please do watch it, and it's a good reminder of who I am as you await the next main episode, which will be coming somewhat soon. To be honest, this exercise was rather pointless, because there's no way I can summarize the opening of the game better than it can itself. The opening is just so good, but we're gonna do it anyway. Also, I said that 99% of you know this game, but these explanations are also for the 1% of people who actually haven't seen this game, like my real-life friends who are watching this to support me. Believe it or not, they do exist. They do exist, right? So just pretend that all these explanations were in various parts of the last video to some extent. Deleted scene, activate! This is the world of Aionios. It is made up of 2 nations, Keves and Agnes, and they are continuously fighting each other over control of the world. But why are they fighting? Everyone in this world has a lifespan of 10 years. They are born at our equivalent of age 10, and they die when they reach our equivalent of 20. But of course, they don't know what ages 10 to 20 mean, so they call each year a term, from 1st to 10th. Of our main Ouroboros group, everyone is in their 9th term, except for Mio, who is in her 10th term, and 3 months away from the end of her life. However, everyone also has this thing called a flame clock, and the flame clock is basically a sand timer on your life. It gradually goes down as you exist, and if it runs out, you die. But if you kill stuff, you get this red essence and your flame clock goes back up. And so there is an endless cycle of having to kill things in order to keep living. And the purpose of living is to fight and kill things.
Fighting in order to live and living to fight. That's the way of our world. Ionios.
This is one of the main themes of this game, things being an infinite circle, shown through the use of the Ouroboros, which is depicted as a dragon or snake eating its own tail. And so, whilst the two nations are fighting for control of the world, they're really just fighting for life from each other. They do this from various outposts, known as colonies, which each form a big giant mech, which is called a Pharaonis. And they also have a bunch of other robots and lasers and cool tech stuff, except it's not that cool because they're all killing each other. Most soldiers die in battle, but the rare survivors who do make it all the way through their 10th term make it to the end of their life, which is called a homecoming. This is basically a big ceremony where they are celebrated by the queen of their nation and their life essence is sent into the beyond. Both in Homecoming and on the battlefield, some soldiers act as Off-Seers. Off-Seers are flute players who play special melodies to honour the fallen soldiers and send them on. And when they do this, the red essence turns into these blue motes, which signify that they've been sent on. Now we as the players know that there is a greater mystery to this world, due to the existence of Guernica and Mobius and the general idea of this being a JRPG with an extensive plot. But from the soldier's perspective, this isn't science fiction, this is just the way the world is. I think recognising that perspective is an incredibly important aspect of understanding the plot and characters in this game. They are born directly into a life of combat, and you don't question it because you don't even think to question it.
Our lives came from the Queen, and we all lived for a chance to take part in the homecoming. The chance to return to the Queen's embrace. Carrying out 10 years of service fighting. That was our whole world. Nobody ever thought to question it.
The only people who would do such a thing are, say, philosophers, who think outside the box and want to understand a superficial meaning to the world around them. Oh wait, that's Noah. And so we come one step back up the rabbit hole.
Good.
Hey! Okay, so now that we have a better idea of the game's world and setting, let's go back to the previous step, which was to introduce our main characters. So from the top. Noah is from Keves and is a passionate Off-Seer. He is presented as a deep thinker who doesn't just take the world at face value.
I want to know, why were we entrusted with these powers? What did he mean by the real enemy?
Mio is from Agnes and is also an Off-Seer. She can run very fast and keeps a diary of her everyday activities. And she has cute little cat ears.
I've thought about this a lot. About what I can achieve, what I'll leave behind.
Uni is from Keves and works as the healer in Noah's squad. She likes to collect fortune clovers, F-O-U-R, and other than that, she's generally based.
Hey, are you always like this? Huh? You making fun of me? Oh, no you don't.
Senna is from Agnes. Despite having a small physique, she is probably the strongest member of our group and is always wanting to get stronger. And her hair is also on fire.
How badass was that? We thought if we pulled it off, it'd raise our chances of survival a whole bunch.
Tyon is from Agnes. Part of operations and planning in Colony Gamma's blah blah blah. He's the tactical thinker, embodying the push glasses against forehead to look smart trope. He fights with the origami birds, which are called Mondo. He's a bit grumpy at the moment, but he'll open up.
No one's worlds apart. Differences are all a matter of perspective.
Lance is from Keves. He also likes being strong and training to get stronger, and is the main defender of the Keves group. He's also a bit grumpy right now.
Do we have to do this rubbish? You're acting like we're a team already.
And then we have Riku and Manana. Riku is a Noppon who works with the Kevesi group, particularly specialising in weapons and gear maintenance, and presumably on the side, haircuts. Because look at that hair.
Riku, just Riku. Common variety Noppon.
Manana is a Noppon who works with the Agnian trio, and is a stellar chef, supposedly able to cook up a mean Gonzalez eyeball.
Eyeball?
Yum. And so, with all our introductions done, that brings us back out of the rabbit hole to the end of the deleted scene. Wow! Well done for sticking through all that. If you thought that parts of that were kinda boring and slow, don't worry, because I did too. That's why I deleted it from the main video. But hopefully you recognize the amount of editing time that previously went into that, so I couldn't just get rid of it. This section with the character introductions was actually one of the first segments that I edited for the next main video, so it's been there a while. That's all there is for today. If you're watching these videos in real time, then don't forget that next week you're getting the rules video, which will hopefully answer some, but not all, of your questions. Thank you for watching, and remember, your hard work is meaningful and you shouldn't delete it.